my name is Dr. Bobby Sura. I'm going to be hosting this live stream today with Rozeena Sujjad. Please bear with me. It's the first time I'm doing a live stream of this kind using Ecamm Live, which you can see up there. So it's a trial version, but I've certainly been working in the field of mental health, psychology for almost over 2 decades. So I'm quite experienced with that, but when it comes to this kind of thing, still learning the ropes, really. So I know Rozeena Sujjad is going to be joining us in a few moments. And if you're watching this on Facebook Live, welcome. Very, very happy to have you on board. It will remain on Facebook Live for you to have a look on our Facebook page at Solihull Wellbeing Clinic. When it comes to Rozeena, I would like to say a little bit about her. She is a graduate in psychology. She has a master's degree in drama therapy, and she works really as a counsellor and a psychotherapist in a range of settings, including Solihull Wellbeing Clinic. Rozeena does a lot of work. She works with groups, with individuals, with families, with schools. She's very, very skilled, trained in systemic therapy as a systemic practitioner, also uses solution-focused strategies to help people, among other things, including, of course, drama, a very creative modality. And a few months ago, Rozeena approached me and said, I'd like to run some women's empowerment groups. And that's why we set this whole stream up, so that we can talk a little bit about it and promote some of the sessions that are going to be running soon. So I'm going to invite Rozeena in. Rozeena, welcome. Can you hear me okay? Oh, hang on.
Yes, I can. Hi, Bobby.
Hello. I thought you were muted there for a moment. I'm glad you're not. Really good. Well, let's kind of jump in, Rozeena. I've already done a little sort of trailer as to who you are, and you know your skills.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, Rozeena, tell me a bit about this women's empowerment sort of session. What led you to even think up the idea of running something like this?
Well, I know it's something that we discussed doing actually before lockdown. And it was actually just before lockdown that I'd planned to do it, and I got lots of leaflets printed, and I was speaking to lots of people. I was planning on leaving at various different places. It was quite interesting that actually, yeah, how lockdown changed everything. Simple things like leaflets. We don't want to be handing out leaflets, leaving them at places. And actually, I did do one session, one workshop just before lockdown. And I think it was just before we even felt that COVID was a real thing. So it was something that I've always wanted to do. And I think for me, having a women's group, for me, it meant it was about safety. It was about having support. It was about feeling inspired and growing. Because for me, empowerment, it's a journey, and it can mean different things for different people, depending on where we are in our lives. And as a woman, I think the times I felt the most empowered in my life is always linked with other women. Talking to women, learning from others, feeling inspired, sharing stories. And I think sharing stories is so powerful. And we feel that connection with others through the stories that they share. And I guess lockdown kind of amplified that even more, didn't it, for everybody? Connection within our I think a lot of people either embraced that kind of spending more time with yourself, but a lot of people struggled with that as well. And I think that was, for me, what I found I was most curious about, and that was quite interested about. A lot of people actually haven't been given that time, or haven't had that time to spend with themselves, and it's been uncomfortable, and it's been a struggle. And some people have found actually that's been quite freeing. It can be. So it's been a freeing process for a lot of people, but it's been a struggle or difficult or a challenging time for a lot of other people as well.
Mm.
Um, so the kind of, and I think so the need for it has always been there
Mm-hmm.
before COVID, after COVID, and it's a journey again that we've all shared.
Yeah.
But we've all obviously experienced something different from it and taken something different from it. But
Mm.
it's that universal feeling now, isn't it? Like literally the whole world has been on the same journey
Mm.
of some sort of a lockdown, and we've all
Yeah.
been impacted by COVID in some way or another.
Yes.
So the idea has always been there, and I think it's also come from my own journey, as I've said, as being a woman, growing, um, and just realizing that actually we have so much power as women to empower each other and
Mm-hmm.
influence each other. And for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's not about me leading this group and me empowering other women.
Yes.
It's me facilitating a safe space
Mm.
to help other women to realize actually how can we do this together,
Yes.
and go on this journey together no matter where we are in our
Yes.
lives.
Yes. Yes. It's a wonderful initiative, and I was thinking in terms of empowerment, it's a word that people do use and have probably heard, but perhaps some people haven't. And you obviously power is within the word empowerment, and so how would you sort of help people understand what you mean by empowerment? What does it kind of constitute? Well, how would you know that somebody's feeling empowered? How would they know they're feeling empowered?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It has become a bit of a trend word, hasn't it?
Mm.
Almost, and kind of commercialized and sensationalized. Oh, can't say that word. But when I think of empowerment, I like to, I'll always ask people to think about a time when you
Mm.
perhaps didn't feel as if you were in
Mhm.
control
Mhm.
of yourself or the situation, and you
Mm.
felt quite powerless.
Okay.
Uh, and and just kind of really take yourself to that feeling, just
Mhm.
just very briefly, thinking about perhaps where you didn't feel like you were in control of your emotions, or
Mhm. Mhm.
around you, what's happening, the people, relationships.
Yes. Yeah.
So so thinking of that feeling,
That's
and I
really.
think that's for me, yeah, it's the opposite of empowerment, but I think
Mhm.
we can't truly feel empowered
Mhm.
or think about feeling empowered if we can't kind of give those moments, those
Mhm.
times, a bit of time
Yes.
and some
Give
thought and
space and
explore that.
time. So it might be Rosina, for example, somebody might be feeling disempowered at work, maybe,
Yeah,
with a manager
yeah,
or a boss or a colleague who isn't sort of really treating you well, or,
mm,
is criticizing you all the time or something. Maybe in relationships at home, with your
yeah,
partner. Sometimes parents feel disempowered, right, with their teenage children, or often teenage children get bad press, right? Um, and I would suggest it's those sorts of settings that you have in mind that
yeah,
so,
yeah, totally, exactly, and it, we all do have, that's life, isn't it? We all have those moments, whether yeah, at work, at home,
yes,
relationships, your feelings within yourself,
yes,
that disconnection that you might have with yourself as a person. And
yes,
I think, again, with COVID, that's something that has been brought up for a lot of people. We've lost that control, haven't we? Everything's
mm,
almost been taken out of our control,
yeah, yeah.
where we
Some
can
people,
go, who we can
yeah,
see. Uh, work, again, so many people have lost their work.
yes,
So many people,
say, yeah,
haven't been able to see family members. People have
mm,
lost family members.
mm, yes.
The
So people,
idea of,
maybe people that were empowerment figures in our lives, aren't there. Maybe our livelihood has been put at risk. Relationships have been put under strain as well in the last sort of 18 months. A lot of time together sometimes cements relationships, but sometimes it creates,
yeah,
shows up the cracks and the difficulties. So there's so many, in a way, it's a perfect time, isn't it, to be talking about this. And I think the beauty of what you're offering is that now that we're kind of coming out of lockdown, this is actually an in-person group you're proposing, isn't it? People coming in to the clinic to sit in a room together, not through a screen like we are today. Is that right? Is that what you have in mind? Yeah,
Yes, that's the plan, and sounds sounds so far away, the idea of it, and I'm really hoping that nothing else changes in
yeah,
between, but a group of women sitting with each other in a room,
yeah.
socially distant.
So,
um,
yeah, with a
we've
bit of
got a nice big room at the clinic, haven't we? But
yeah,
kind of having that connection and just
yeah,
being there in person, I think is, it sounds like such a privilege now.
yes,
Something we've taken for granted, and a
yeah,
safe space, and that's kind of really what I want to create, the sense of feeling safe. And
yes,
it's not going to happen straight away. We're not going to suddenly feel safe in that room, but again,
mhm,
and that's a process, and that's something
yes,
that I want to be facilitate for people.
yeah.
um
So it
and
won't be
it
like,
takes.
some people get put off with this idea of almost like you think of sort of Alcoholics Anonymous or something, or an encounter group, and everybody has to speak in turn.
Yeah,
I'm sort of really imagining it's nothing like that. It's going to be a
of
different
course.
experience altogether. Yeah, but I think I'm
Yeah,
wondering that might be occurring to people in their mind that it will feel a bit like that. But do you want to offer any reassurance or help people get a sense of
of
what to expect?
course. I mean, bring your nerves, bring the lack of confidence, bring the fear of the unknown. And I think everybody will be feeling that in that room,
Yeah,
including myself, because
naturally.
I don't know what I will be working with, who will
Yeah,
be there,
yeah,
and what people will be bringing. But I think that's the beauty of it as well, because that's, I like to use what's in the moment,
yes.
um, and kind of work with that.
Mhm.
But the things that I want to be able to focus on is building the confidence with as a group, going on that journey together, kind of growing,
Yeah,
learning to kind of accept who we are and what stage we are about our life.
yes.
Um, and feeling inspired by one another.
Uh-huh.
And as you've already introduced me as a drama therapist, and it will be a creative, interactive group, but that again in itself can put a lot of people off.
Yeah.
But what I mean by that is it won't be just us sitting and just talking.
Uh-huh.
Like what you said, that kind of idea of an AA group, for example. Not that there's anything wrong with that at all, but sometimes that can be quite scary as well,
Yeah.
and a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Saying the right thing. Am I saying the right thing? And sometimes we're not as real actually
Uh-huh.
when we are just sitting there and just talking.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be making anybody do anything they don't want to do, they're not comfortable doing.
Mm-hmm.
um, but we will be doing different creative things, and again that will depend on what people are comfortable with and how
Yeah.
safe we feel, and over a period of time. So for example, we might do work with movement, using our bodies, because I think we don't realize how much our bodies do for us as well, and the impact, uh, actually just simple movements in our bodies can have on how we feel.
Mm-hmm.
Doing some mindfulness, or understanding how we can kind of work with using our bodies, using our breath, and how we can kind of use that to our advantage. Just really making that connection again with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so kind of using that, might play a few games,
Mm.
and see what that brings up. So, as a drama therapist, what that means is it's just action. It means action. So it doesn't mean we'll be there doing drama or role play. That's really, it's a very misleading word,
Yes.
um, or a term. But it's kind of just going. It's about trying to get people to step outside of the box a little,
Okay.
and seeing kind of what's in from the outside.
Uh-huh.
And it's about using metaphor.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So using
As in,
metaphor
yeah. Yeah.
to really help people to maybe explore what's going on for them.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody isn't comfortable sharing what's actually going on for them with a bunch of strangers. You don't have to. We can do it quite safely using metaphor so that you're not having to re-traumatize yourself,
Mm,
or even get really kind of deep,
mm,
unless you want to. And I think that's the other
mm,
kind of that's the other
mm,
great thing about drama therapy. So for example, when if I was to ask you, Bobby, can you tell me what's on your plate right now?
mhm,
So without
mhm.
actually telling me what is actually happening, using the metaphor of food, what would you
What
what
would
would you say
I
to that right now? What's
uh,
on your plate right now?
yeah,
But
so
using food.
yeah, so I might describe it as a bunch of very sticky, tangled spaghetti at the moment, So, um,
That's actually what I was thinking of right now as well, to be honest.
were you?
If
Um,
I were to ask
yeah,
what's on
yeah,
my plate, I was gonna say a big stir fry of noodles.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot there
all
hard to
tangled with each
untangle.
other.
Yeah, yeah. We've been dealing with a few things lately. Just in work life, obviously, is there, but personal life too. So that would be an example, I suppose, of saying something about yourself without really revealing too much.
Hmm.
It sounds like
Yeah.
it'd be real fun and something new. Maybe exercises, experiences people haven't had before. But the idea being that, I mean, let's say this is a group over 3 weeks, isn't it? 3 sessions, I think.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
three workshops. So yeah, 3 sessions,
yeah,
3 hours long, I think we've said.
for each one.
And I
Yeah,
think the reason why I've done kind of 3 hours is because we're all going to be new people, we're strangers.
yeah,
The first week, the first kind of group will be about kind of breaking the ice,
yes,
um, and kind of going through the process of feeling safe with one another, with the space, with our bodies,
yeah,
and getting to know one another,
yeah,
and finding out where we are on our journey, and
yeah,
what is it that we want to kind of get out of these sessions.
yeah,
And then hopefully the second week we can really kind of get into it, do a
mhm,
few different things. I might get people to draw something, or write a little metaphorical story perhaps. And
mm,
so again, it all depends on the individual people.
yeah,
And then the third kind of session will obviously wind down a little, and kind of share what we've learned as
yeah,
well, set some goals for one another.
yeah,
And I think that's quite important as well sometimes, is having the accountability.
mm,
So before we do the group sessions, everyone will have the opportunity to have a bit of a one-to-one with me anyway,
okay,
um, where I can actually get to find out a little bit more about them. What is it
mm,
that they're looking for? What are the barriers for them? What do
mm,
they really struggle with? What are their fears? So
okay,
I will be tailoring the group,
to
um, as
about,
much as I can to everybody. So you're not going to be just thrown into the deep end.
yeah,
So you will kind of, everyone will have that one-to-one chance. And also at the end of the group, there'll be a chance for a bit of a one-to-one,
okay,
kind of like a debrief for each person, so
yes,
that if anybody did really feel that they needed extra support on a one-to-one, then that's there as well.
lovely,
Um, and if everybody wanted to, it'd be great to have a bit of a social with everyone. If everyone wanted to go out for a meal at the end,
okay,
if that
yeah,
feeling was there and if it was mutual. And I think, and and then there's the opportunity for that group to kind of form their own support group afterwards.
yeah, to
Again, it's all
you,
personal
yeah,
choice.
yeah. And there could
Um,
be people who are new to the area or people who have been around
yeah,
a long time and they haven't made those connections because of work or family life. So it's a little bit social, it's a little bit therapeutic, it's certainly creative, it's about building up our sense of confidence and belief in ourselves. And then this idea of feeding forward with some goals, like accountability you're talking about, Rosina,
hmm,
that how will this group sort of help you move forward with what you were working with, or what some of the challenges might be, or what some of your hopes might be, for the future,
yeah.
which is
And
wonderful.
then exactly. And as a therapist, that email support will be there as well, for people, for women,
Yeah,
uh, and yeah, might be future sessions as well,
that's
possibly.
good. And all of
But
this,
it's
it's
really
action packed, Rosina. I mean, that's 9 hours over 3 sessions, and
very intense.
Did they?
Very intense, but we'll definitely
Yeah,
have plenty of tea breaks.
yeah, yeah. So there'll be
Um,
breaks. There'll
what I
be
really, yeah, what I really want kind of, the women out there to understand as well is it really will be led by you.
okay.
Um, me kind of facilitating that safe space, but
Yeah,
it will be led by you because I
yeah.
believe everybody has got that power inside of them.
Hmm.
And it's just about trying to tap into it.
Mm. So we're looking at Saturdays, aren't we? The 4th, the 18th, and the 25th of September. So that those
Yeah,
are the dates, I believe. There are three dates. Each of them are Saturdays, 10 o'clock in the morning through to 1 in the afternoon. Live in person. So here at Solihull Wellbeing Clinic in Hall Green, Birmingham. And the session, it's only £90, Rozeena. So 9 hours worth of input, and all the support you're offering, and all of the kind of positivity that will come from it. I mean, I think that's really exceptional value. What I wanted to do was just help people navigate where they might come to book on, right? Because it's all very well hearing about it, but how do you find out more? How do you get in
yeah,
touch with you, and so on? So I'm just going to take you off here, Rozeena, and put our website up here. So this is the Solihull Wellbeing Clinic website. You can see hopefully on the right hand side. We've got our address. You can Google that quite easily. And if you come down, this will tell you a bit more about us. There's even an introductory video. And if I go into our classes and groups, and this is where we have, our yoga sessions. They're on Tuesdays. And here is the React It Out, which is the company, the umbrella company that you use for yourself, isn't it? Rozeena, your organisation,
that's right.
and that's the Women's Empowerment Group. And there's a little bit of information about the course, what's involved, and here there's a little inquire box that you can just hit on that, and you'll be able to get straight through to Rozeena. And that's the way to book on. There may be other ways. If you want to send an inquiry in, we'll help you to book on. But it'd be lovely to have as many people on board. Is there a limit actually, Rozeena, on terms of numbers? So that what's the kind of upper limit? I don't think it's going to be a sprawling, huge group of people, is it?
No, so it's definitely not. I mean, I'm hoping for it to be between 5 and 7.
Yeah.
So no more,
So quite quite
no
an
more.
intimate group, and
Yeah,
because you're not
yeah.
here to pack that space out, you want it to be an enriching and quality experience.
Mhm. And intimate. Yeah,
In intimate, and that's a nice setting, and it's a lovely room, big windows, comfy chairs, and so I think, Rozeena, it's been wonderful to hear about it. I was looking, we had 73 thumbs up on our
oh,
Facebook
great.
feed, and 28 love hearts.
Oh,
So there's
very exciting.
been a lot of people that have been interested in what's happening here, and yeah, so share the news, spread the news, and thank you very much, Rozeena. I hope you'll come on again, and maybe talk with us again about some other initiatives you're doing. But thanks.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thanks for,
Thank you so much for having me, Bobby, and thanks for your support in this.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Always helpful. Happy to help. See you soon. Okay. And thanks
Thank you.
everybody
Have
for
a good
viewing.
day, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody. We'll
Thank
see you
everybody
again
for
soon.
joining.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Right.